All right. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Sorry. This is the Snort Report. I am your host, and let's get right into it. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. And let me clean up some of the stuff here. And let's get into the situation. So, excuse me, as I've said before, some of the, I'll name this segment later, title in progress. Some of these will actually be accompanied by a video that actually goes into the situation a bit more thorough, if you will. This is one of those situations. So, Becky Boop and Darksydephil and theoretically Review Tech USA is in here in some way, shape, or form because he is the actual focus of this unholy union and whatnot. So that's what we're going to be talking about. That's what our situation is. That's what our circumstances are. SnortBucks is going to be on me, obviously, because I always buy the first couple rounds. So feel free to take a seat, or going to do this on the move, whatever you guys are interested in. Let's get into our situation, and to do so, we should start with one of my favorite segments. Absolutely, one of my favorite segments. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So. Now, the thing is, ironically enough, is the Discord leak, if you will, comes off of the back, no pun intended, comes off the back of Review Tech USA having a bit of a blunder, which DSP thought he could exploit and go into this rather long and drawn-out diatribe about how unprofessional Rich is and his setup. DSP, being an absolute fucking mongoloid, didn't realize that the setup that you saw as it pertains to the conversation was actually on Becky's end, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of funny. But the fact that DSP went ahead and preached all of his bullshit about professionalism only to have his own lack of set professionalism be exposed the next day is kind of interesting. More importantly than that, as you know what I'm saying, because things usually come in threes, the next situation was the strangely Lex and MJ, her girlfriend. That situation comes up when Iron Chef's a cuck and everything that entails. And then at this particular time in the timeline, that's, oh my God, evolved into all kinds of craziness. You got dents out here slitting their own wrists and all kinds of silly shit. I might have to reach out to Hogan to see about the video in question, because I did actually watch it and whatnot, with some dent bleeding over his laptop for, I don't know, I guess dent is as dent does. And then it got removed for obvious reasons. But I'm sure that if I reached out to Hogan, he would still have that copy. Maybe it's something I'll go over on stream. In any case, a lot's going on. You know what I'm saying? We're only in the beginning, only in the beginning of 2025, in March of 2025 to be exact. In any case, we'll tackle that when we get there. So, DSP and Becky and Review Tech. To be honest, I think Becky reached out to DSP. I think Becky reached out to DSP, as the video before this would basically lay out, to get DSP on the show. It gives, if she can pull this off, if she can get the limp dick to show up, it'll give her a lot of leverage in whatever this new show that's looking to be developed by her amongst the Lolcow universe. For those of you who know, Becky has her own show called The Becky Show on her own channel. But if she can get this new show through, because she's proven that she can make money, she can prove that she can hold on to attention. Yet again, she's that BBW who can be attractive and yet be a bitch at pretty much the same time. It works to her benefit. Darksydephil would be quite the gem, the jewel, I should say, in her crown, being that she is the host of Lolcow Queens, if you guys get the reference. I honestly think that she reached out to DSP. I know there's a lot of thoughts on DSP reached out to her to try to felt rich instead of third, and that would kind of make sense, and it kind of wouldn't, because DSP wouldn't just approach her directly. He would have to try to go through somebody to do so. It makes more sense to me, anyway, that Becky went through Keem, went through Jay, whoever it was, over there on Lolcow who has spoken to DSP, more than likely Boogie and or Wings. That's how she got his Discord, sent him an invite, and then that's what started this conversation. Is she going to be the replacement for Kat? No. And for DSP's sake, you should be glad. Becky doesn't have the greatest track record with men. Rich being a massive red flag. And then obviously her ex, which she's accusing of SA, which just about everybody believes is fraudulent, which it probably is. So there's that situation. I honestly think this is just a business move. DSP can go to another platform. He can spread the Gouty gospel, if you will, and dunk on Rich. For Becky, it shows how much more value she can bring to the Lolcow network. It also would certainly help solidify, as well as christen, whatever her new show is, aside from Lolcow Queens. And it's a massive boost for her. Because yet again, my theory is that she's trying to buy in to the Lolcow network. Because remember, the only 4 people who actually have any type of stake or ownership is Wings and Boogie, Keem, and then kid behind the camera. Well, he has stake in Lolcow Queens. He owns half of the show. But then again, yet again, he put money in on that. So there's that. So Becky's trying to put herself in position because if she gets ownership, she can literally lord over people. She'll have access to more resources, financially and otherwise. It's rather beneficial if she decides to play that angle. In any case, we're going to go back to February 24th of 2025, our year of gout and failure. And I'm going to show you 2 different perspectives. I'm going to show you Darksydephil when he actually blunders. It shows the situation with him leaking the Discord. And then we're going to go to Lolcow Queens, and we're going to go over that nonsense. Stuff's going to tie together. Mainly, the thing I want you to pay attention to is DSP's timeline compared to Becky's timeline. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, because, that's always a thing. Let's see. There's nothing. Let's see. Should we do the coffee shop, or should we set up the chessboard? Let's set up the chessboard. Let's do that. There we go. So Becky kind of paints herself as an intellectual, and whatnot. She's cunning. She may be clever at times. I wouldn't say she's smart though. She's intelligent for sure, but I wouldn't say she's smart. Anyway, semantics. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to the situation at hand. This is brought to us by Raw Phil. Big ups to Raw Phil, and it'll also be brought to us by Lolcow Queens. I do not have an insert for them and whatnot. Maybe if they get featured on the channel again, we'll work that out. But the link to Lolcow Queens will be down in the description. The link to Raw Phil to his channel will be linked in the description because I do not have the URL. Matter of fact, I should just talk to Raw Phil and see if, just be like, yo, do you want me to just put the Odyssey link down there instead? Maybe I can get a hot link for that or something, or a hyperlink. That could work. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to the process at hand. And yet again, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And here we go.
I hit the wrong button.
Hey.
Here, take a look at this. What the hell? Oh, my capture device.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, we're here with Raw Phil. Big ups. This is from the Bottom Bitch podcast from February 24th of 2025. The link to Raw Phil's channel will be down in the description. And here's our Discord in question here. So, not necessarily the most star-studded or studded lineup, but it is what it is. To be honest with you, it only makes sense though too that everybody here, or most of the people on here, serve some type of purpose, which is what I've always tried to tell you. The DSP doesn't have friends. He doesn't have associates, per se. Well, he has associates, but mainly it's utilitarianism. You have to serve a purpose. If not, you're in the way. And that's the reason why people like Brian, or top tier there, that's the reason why you don't hear too much from him anymore. He was a nice placeholder. He filled space until DSP was able to move on to something more prosperous. I hate to say that about Brian because from all accounts, he seems to be a pretty nice guy. It's unfortunate that he is treated the way he is, but sometimes you gotta stand up and be your own man and and reinforce the value that you bring to an arrangement, a friendship, or whatever. If not, people will just treat you any which way. So it is what it is. In any case, oh boy, got a very punchable face here. Here we go.
I hit the wrong button. Here, take a look at this. What the hell? Oh, my capture device malfunctioned. Hold on. Guys, my capture device has malfunctioned. Ugh. I've had enough. We got to move on. All right, cool. All right. And just
don't worry. You guys will hear the tism fit behind that whole capture device debacle after the DSP segment, or towards the end of it, I should say.
Hilarious. So for the record, the stupid screen that you guys saw was a Discord screen. It's all that is people who I've talked to over like the last 6 to 8 months on Discord. If you remember last year, I was reaching out to a ridiculous amount of people, and a ridiculous amount of people were reaching out to me.
Now, keep in mind, yet again, the timeline. He's going to fudge the numbers. The fact that he's talked to some of these people, if not all those people, within the last 6 to 8 months, theoretically could very well be true. But the dishonesty and everything, because rule number 1 about DSP is DSP lies about everything, is the fact that he'll try to make it seem like he'll try to make it seem like the timeline is a lot farther, is pushed further back than it really is, and whatnot. Instead of him just admitting, let's be honest, you've talked to PPP probably on the daily. Brian maybe semi-daily, depending on what Brian has to say to DSP more than the otherwise. And he's probably spoken to Becky a few times, at least recently, at least according to what she said. And she doesn't sound like she was too far off. And you'll see why that is as we move along.
To try to like cross over for content, to do interviews, to do all of this stuff. None of that is really pertinent today. As I've told you guys, I have no interest in doing any kind of like appearances on shows or anything right now.
Which doesn't make any sense, but because he's under PPP, or Triple P as I like to call him, since he's under his ball sack, I guess he feels safe. You know how pathetic that sounds? I guess you're living well with Kino Casino, and you still don't see the need to branch out and try to do other stuff. You know how stupid that sounds? Given that this is the same person who was working at the helicopter company, right, for all those years that his daddy got him that job. Never really thought about maybe expanding his horizons in the industry, because he was just going to ride his daddy's name throughout the company until he realized that he just wasn't competent enough to do that. And probably even more importantly, the people around him realized that he wasn't competent enough to do it. Then we get into machinima. We get to YouTube, I should say. He first thought he was going to, when he got on Blistered Thumbs, actually he wasn't even there yet, but he was almost there. He was on Blip TV. He thought that would be the new thing after he got his ass kicked off of the AdSense program over on YouTube the first time. He thought he was going to be over there with Blip forever. Got kicked off after a month and a half. Damn near had an opportunity to be part of that that guy with the glasses. More specifically, Blistered Thumbs, being under their gaming division, basically. Ends up screwing that shit up. Goes to Machinima, stays there for what, 6 or 7 years? Thought he was going to end up staying on Machinima forever. And then ends up botching that bullshit because of Adpocalypse. And he couldn't just stay in pocket and just keep doing what he was doing. Like, he never has any long-term plans. When he finds something that works, he sticks with it until it basically dries up and or dies out. He never has a plan for anything. He's always grasping for whatever his grubby little hopes can get their hands on. And he's never ever thinking past that. And because of that, there's the reason why that he has all these different sagas, all these different arcs. It's the reason why he turns people off, not just his wife, because he tries to burn the candle at both sides or at both ends. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have this partnership with Kino Casino doesn't mean you shouldn't build up other partnerships too. The reason why for that, though, ladies and gentlemen, is because he doesn't know how to multitask. He is so fucking autistic that the moment that he sets his mind to one thing, he just stays to it. He can't do anything else, because if he breaks his focus, then he thinks that whatever it is that he has going on will fall apart too, which comes from his paranoia, which is just another branch off of his mental illness. It's an interesting concept when you think about it.
I'm not looking to do any interviews or whatever. So, because already people are trying to say, oh, you're talking to this person, you're talking to that person. No, I'm not. I'm not. You know, this was all stuff from time over the past, like I said, many months. I'm not actively looking to do anything.
And a pathological liar, he really expects you to believe that? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. Because whether you spoke to them yesterday or 8 months ago, it doesn't mean that people, more than likely good Samaritans, won't reach out to them and basically clue them in. And that's what this all is DSP trying to put up a deterrent. He doesn't want people to go out there and to harass him or whatnot. Now, if this was some 4D chess type shit, I would say that he actually leaked the Discord on purpose. So they could go to whoever it was on that list to prove that, hey, yeah, these detractors, trolls, haters, critics are mentally ill. But there's no real end game given the people that are already up there. So that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, to be honest with you. By the way, I still stick to the theory that DSP purposely leaked WWE champions on his cell phone. What was that, a year or two ago? I still honestly think he did that on purpose. He was already caught dead to rights. What did he have to lose at that point? That's semantics, though. We can always speak on that later. We can always speak on that later.
In any regard like that, okay? I'm really not. Like, some people are like, oh no, here we go, conspiracy theories, because my stupid capture device froze or whatever, and it showed you the people who I've talked to on Discord. Well, it doesn't matter. None of that is pertinent, okay?
That's not me. That's his camera. On top of that, though, why did you even have Discord open at that particular time? Yet again, it makes you wonder, when he's on stream, what is he actually looking at? Is he looking at all of those cameras, all those security cameras? Is he looking at a particular feed for that? Is he looking at Discord? Is he watching a detractor's restream? What's he doing? What's he doing? He's not completely and utterly focused on the streams. It makes you think.
Why do I have so many tech issues? So here's the difference.
And yet again, the freezing is not me. And don't get me wrong, you come to a GTG video, there's more than likely something that's going to be messed up. But in this particular case, it's not me. It's not me, I swear.
My tech issues are not based on ignorance of technology like review tech. Mine are based on technology being very wonky and inconsistent.
Oh, I beg to differ. I love that, though. Oh, it's not because I'm a fucking retard. It's because the technology is faulty and retarded. The same technology that I bought. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the same technology that people who are dedicated in my community bought. No, I mean technology that I bought. Yeah, that's what it was. Gotcha, Phil. I roger that.
Like, literally, no exaggeration. Everything was working. I turned on my stream. A cable over there was slightly loose.
So it wasn't plugged in fully. So that would be a human issue, or a human error, if you will.
And booped another cable. And the next thing you know, the capture device malfunctioned.
Now, how does that make sense? So one cable that was slightly loose became sentient. Not sentinel. Yeah, sentient. And then unplugged another cable, basically. Or it tried to push another cable out of pocket. You can't make this shit up. Tell you, man, Darksydephil, and I think her name was Wendy, the other officer, and that 220 description of Darksydephil is starting to become more and more apparent. I'm just kidding, it always was apparent. But you know, seeing other people make that classification really speaks volumes, I gotta tell you. It really speaks volumes.
Just because you got touched like this. Stupid, right? Is that my fault that gravity exists and cables will move? You know, I actually know how.
Is it my fault that gravity exists and cables move on their own? Great screenshot, by the way. I'm sure PPP has seen that point of view quite a few times. Anyway, that's wild. Like I said, there's things in his house, inanimate objects, that are just coming to life, I should say, and just disrupting everything. You can't Darkside. How do you expect Darksydephil to be successful, or how can you perceive him to be successful when everything around him is against him? Everything. It's bad enough that he has a bunch of mentally ill midgets running around fucking with his business and shit, right? But then you got fucking things in his own home that's working against him. I gotta tell you, man, it's a level of mental gymnastics that no one's gonna ever top. I gotta tell you.
How the tech works I know how to set it up. It was actually working. It was gravity, made a cable move, and then there was a malfunction. And by the way, I fixed it within moments, right?
I mean, maybe if you had checked the equipment before you start, that wouldn't have been a problem. But whatever. You know, being that everything's on the goddamn floor anyway, you know, like a professional, of course, how could you hold him responsible for anything? That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it, Phil. What was I thinking? Who was I to doubt you and your greatness?
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm going to continuously have tech issues because that's my life. Like, no exaggeration. Someone else.
I love that Chris Chan sweater. It's really coming through. I got to tell you, the dimensional tear within the snort text, or the vortex, if you will, is really making itself apparent. I got to tell you.
Could buy a piece of tech, set it up, have it run, and never have a problem with it ever. Me, I will have nonstop problems no matter what as a result of this. Like, I'm not even...
Well, you're not a normal person, first off and foremost, but by that same logic, by your own reasoning, wouldn't that mean that you are completely and utterly at fault? I hate to try to classify you as human, because you're the furthest thing from it. You're closer to an NPC, and certainly genetically wise linked to some type of goddamn alien. But wouldn't that literally fall on you though? Wouldn't that be all of your own personal responsibilities? And on top of the fact that he's about to literally point towards the floor, he's literally looking at his grubby, disgusting floor where all these cables are at, because cable management isn't really a thing. What did he think was going to happen?
Kidding? Not only that, one cable falling disabled, well, screwed up my capture device, and it made my wireless go out.
And now the wireless. So at first it was just one cable came alive and bumped another cable that caused some type of disruption that exposed your Discord. Now the wireless also got bumped off too. You can't make it up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going off of what he's telling you. I'm going with what he's saying.
So this just confirms it's my motherboard, which I suspected all along. It is my motherboard that's causing the problems.
So how did we go from, I'm telling you, this gymnastic routine is fantastic. So we went from the cable coming alive, or becoming sentient and whatnot, coming alive, bumping off another cable, which caused a mess up with the capture card, which exposed the Discord. And now later on ends up bumping off the Wi-Fi. Now we go from that to now the motherboard is the problem. You know, the motherboard inside the PC that he spent $2,000+ on and allegedly did his research on, instead of, you know, the more logical thing is he looked at a case, he looked at a bunch of pretty lights, and it's not white, it's black, so he's comfortable with that, and we went with it. Okay, that's wild. Like, I'm telling you, man, he's working these dent rings in a fantastic and yet rather perplexing manner. I'm stunned. I'm not sure if I should clap or clap, to be honest with you. Makes you think.
It's a very wonky piece of shit motherboard that if I even tap one of the ports, all the things just turn off.
Flowers, if you go back and you look, you can see how much weight she's actually lost.
Oh boy. Okay, now we get into one fuckery into the other. So ladies and gentlemen, same day, by the way, still February 24th. This is Lolcow Queens, as you can see up there. And this is the show that Becky hosts over there as part of the Lolcow network, or part of the Lolcow universe, I should say, in affiliation with the Lolcow network. And oh boy, here's our players. So bottom right, chick with the glasses, that's Tina. She's the real star of the show. To the left of Tina is, I can't think of her name, but she has a lot of attitude. She's pretty funny. Above Tina is a kid behind a camera, who Becky, who is to his left, has exposed of being a pedo because he was fucking a 15-year-old when he was 22. That's a whole nother story in itself. Anywho, Becky exposed him on another show, and then she's the main proponent fighting for him to stay part of the network. Make of that what you will. It's wild stuff. It's an absolute fucking rabbit hole, to be honest with you. An absolute rabbit hole. the big Lebrowski, call him Lebrowski though, but I'm pretty sure it's Lebrowski is how he pronounces it, or Lebowski. No, it's Lebrowski. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter. The point being is that there's a guy who's actually done a series of videos on it. I'll link it down in the description. I've gone over a couple of his videos on stream, but like I said, I'll link him down in the description. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, by all means. He's one of the people I would recommend to do it because he's one of the few people that is doing it. Anywho, this is Lolcow Queens talking about Darksydephil and his future appearance, and I've also left some small tidbits of some of the nonsense that goes on over there. Oh boy, buckle up.
Just crazy, actually.
Thank
you.
Super chatted $19.99.
Jealous.
Becky, why are you DMing DSP on Discord?
Oh.
Phil accidentally leaked his Discord on his stream earlier and you were one of the people he's talking to. Another married man you're messing with. You look similar to his wife.
Wouldn't you like to know?
One of these days you're going to get your ass beat. You're going to be coming in here with a black eye and everything else because you're fucking with somebody's husband.
Which wouldn't be her first time. She's pretty much flirted with most of the guys that are actually on the Lolcow panel. A lot of people believe that she has Keemstar wrapped around her finger, at least to some degree, I should say. She's gotten away with a fair amount of bullshit, financially as well as otherwise. Some people believe, this is alleged by the way, that she may have gatekeeped a few other female hosts that either got them pushed on to other shows or just pushed out of the Lolcow network altogether. There's all kinds of extraordinarily nonsensical but rather entertaining stories out there about Becky. But you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I was doing it for
I got a question for
I
you.
was doing it for the content. Usually men
She
pay me to
does
fix things
fight
for
for
them, but all
bread.
right.
She fucking does.
Yeah, well, you both will get beat up, Roxy. You both will get beat up, bitch.
She left before I finished my masterpiece. What the
What were you
fuck,
working on
Roxy?
this whole time?
Fucking worried about whether or not you're going to get caught drinking because she drank before you got here, Mike?
No, I just turned Roxy into fucking Chucky, and I just turned Tina into Bride of Chucky, and she left before I could finish the trifecta. God damn it.
You know what?
Ruined my
That's played out.
plans.
That's played out. Mike, can I borrow your Chucky down?
On and said something.
Oh my God, they're telling me put a picture of Kat Burnell over my square. That's Phil's wife. I asked the chat, would they want to see DSP on an episode of Queens, and by 64% they said yes.
Who's he? Who is DSP?
He is like
I
the
don't know
OG Lolcow, the OG Lolcow. But in order to do the show, both of you wouldn't be able to be here. It would have to be like very intelligentsia, very sophisticated, just me and Phil, while we have like a very dignified tea time.
Hear how she's playing to his ego. On top of that, it really wouldn't be Queens if you're getting rid of everybody else except for you and DSP. Unless she's basically taking an underhand shot at Phil, calling him a bitch. Which, if the shoe fits, so that's a thing. But yeah, playing to Phil's ego, which is what Phil wants. Phil wants to be looked at as an intellectual. Can't say that shit with a straight face. Anyway, he wants to look like he's intelligent. He puts out meaningful content. All these things that Becky would know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will say Becky's very much a man eater. She's very good at sizing some men up, I should say. And turning their insecurities and make them seem like their strengths. And that's all she's doing with DSP, to be honest with you. That's all it is. Whatever it takes to get him suited up and to get him on that show. And she'll throw softball questions at him. She'll throw zingers at him that he probably won't even understand, and he'll just chuckle to himself. And as long as Rich is the primary focus of the whole thing, it doesn't matter what shot she takes at DSP. As long as Rich is getting the blunt of it. You know what I mean? The majority of it. It doesn't matter. He'll laugh off the rest of it, just like what he does with Kino Casino.
No buffoonery from you two.
No. Yeah, who wants that
He
fucking
wants it,
shit?
and I
Educated
do.
fucking conversation on Lolcow? That sounds fucking retarded.
I am tired of this lowbrow company, okay? I want somebody elevated who could come to my level, and that would be DSP.
Oh,
Does he
really?
talk
So
like this?
No, but I'm sure he could. I could pull up like a fireplace. We could have
he's probably
like,
built like this. He probably built like this.
he looks pretty good. He's aged better than most other Lolcow.
I'm surprised Becky missed that reference because that's not what Tina was talking about. But truth be told, I think Becky did get the reference, and she went ahead and just placated it to, oh no, he's actually in fairly good shape. She's conniving. She's good at it though, but she's conniving. Oh my god, she's conniving.
House, I would say.
Tina.
I'm just saying, why the fuck do we have to have somebody different? This is our show, Becky.
Because it's a guest.
You don't own this show.
Because he would be a guest.
Well, guess what? You could go have him in on your own fucking platform, bitch. The Becky Show. This is not the Becky Show,
Do you want
bitch.
to never be able to have guests on here, Tina?
Well, first off, Keem would more than likely not allow that. Actually, as I've been kind of catching up on Lolcow, there are some interesting stipulations that Keem has for people on those shows. For example, for Mafia Milfers, that's what it probably should be called, but whatever. Mafia Milkers, they can't talk about drama stuff on their own channels. It has to be done on Mafia Milkers and whatnot. It's like, I don't know how Keem got them to agree to that, but Savage ended up kind of getting held to the fire on that recently, or somewhat recently. What else? There's certain things that Boogie and Winks can't do on their platforms. It has to be done on Lolcow. They've already been buck broken though, so they're conformed to that shit now. But some of these other shows are running into all kinds of little situations. It sounds like a bunch of people who just didn't read their fucking contracts and just signed on and didn't really have an understanding of what's going on. On top of the Lolcow Discord, at least for a while, but it still has it. They have all kinds of problems in there. They got all kinds of wild shit that's going on in there. Weird stuff. Just absolutely just silly trash fire. Damn near preschool up to high school behavior in there. It's some wild shit. And then someone who I've been wanting to actually speak on for a minute, a guy by the name of Yo Mama, comes out of Girl World. Apparently, he is putting himself in position for his own show, or at least he's going to attempt to. Because Keem, turned an existing channel that they already had. Can't remember what it was now, it doesn't matter. It's being turned into Lolcow Pilots. Or something along the, or no, Lolcow, or a Lolcow Test, or Test Lolcows, one of the two. Anyway, what it is basically a place that people in the Discord, in their community, they can go up there and they can pitch an idea. And because Yo Mama has built, or is building, I should say, a rather strong presence over there, and which ups his profile in Girl World, he's trying to see if he can navigate the waters and get himself an official show under Keem's Lolcow brand. If he can make that happen, he's focusing strictly on Girl World drama, and which was what he should do, and probably drama in general, but mainly over Girl World, which is what Keem wants. He was hoping that Yaba and Frenchie would fulfill that role, but there's a civil war going on in Girl World. That's not going to happen. So I think Yo Mama's going to end up putting his hat in the ring for that. Truth be told, it's not going to work unless he can get Garlic Bread in there, which is the person who is his main op or adversary. But I'll talk about that in another video. I'll lay that whole, how it should be anyway. I'll lay the whole thing out. But that's what's going on over there, to be honest. So if you spend any amount of time watching the shit, you can kind of see what Keem's trying to do. It'll probably not going to succeed in the long term. But for now, I mean, he's building quite a bit of equity, so it is what it is.
You told me and Mike have to leave. We're not dignified, but we can sit here and make money, hand over fist for your fat fucking drunk ass. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
You'd be
Who
able
the
to
fuck
take.
you think you're talking to?
You could take
fuck
the
you
night
and the
off.
horse you rode in on, whore. Nobody gives a fuck.
Don't you want a night off? You were just saying you're so overwhelmed and overworked in 7
I
hours.
did not say that, motherfucker. What I said is I was overworked that day, and then to work with a drunk who talked shit to our supporters, humiliated herself.
Now here's the thing. Here's another thing too. How is it that you, just the sample of the bitch fest that's going on? You got people being accused of SA. You got damn near confirmed pedos over there. You got all kinds of crazy shit going on, right? There's reports of people getting doxxed over there now and all kinds of ridiculous shit. How is it that Review Tech USA somehow, some way got himself fired out of a literal trash fire situation. You would think someone as fucking stupid and as inept and as fucking retarded as well as fucking Review Tech USA would have been able to prosper over there in some way. Not talking about tech, obviously, but doing something. And somehow he ain't screwed that up. Now, in our current day and age, he was beefing with Duty. Apparently they didn't work that shit out. Now, he was messing with, or sorry, let me reword that. He was trying to, what it seems like, mess with Grace Thorne. That's that chick who's accused of incest with her father. He was somehow trying to mess with that chick, allegedly for content. Then that got scared off when he found out that Grace's father was going to actually show up for the situation. Then Rich is accusing them of stalking him. Then he somehow gets into a beef with Sly T. Now Rich wants to get himself some type of taser gun or some type of pop gun that's not a real gun, but whatever, something for self-defense. And now, in the current day and age, this idiot has sat there and bought himself a shotgun. So my real question is, did he get the shotgun because he's really trying to protect his family, as he tries to tell people? Or did he do it as a deterrent to try to protect his internet ego? And if so, who's he trying to defend himself from? Is he trying to defend himself from Sly T? Or is he trying to defend himself from the Thorne family? Seems weird, because when he was beefing with the Thorns, he was like, oh, well, you know, they're crazy and I just wanted to protect my family. Then all of a sudden he pulls Sly into that shit. And now all of a sudden he went out and got himself a shotgun. Makes you think.
It was time to fucking close it down. You called me on the phone and started harassing me. You fucking straight fat bitch.
Oh, it was harassment now.
Yeah.
When do you want to have this guy on?
Yeah.
Whenever it could happen, whenever we want, but he usually needs a couple weeks notice. So, you know.
So that means DSP has talked to her fairly recently. If he's already put the idea in her head that he needs to know a few weeks in advance. Let me bring that back so you guys can catch you guys can pick up what I'm putting down here.
Yeah. Whenever it could happen,
Let's bring it back a little further. Sorry. She's not completely rotund, but I should give her more space.
Me, you fucking straight fat bitch.
Oh, it was harassment now.
Yeah.
When do you want to have this guy on?
Yeah.
Whenever it could happen, whenever we want, but he usually needs a couple weeks notice. So, you know.
Oh.
Well, listen, I could try to get him on next
in
week.
a couple weeks, bitch.
Now, keep in mind too, Mike, who's the confirmed pedo, he owns half of this show, so that's the reason why his ass is able to keep showing up to all these situations. On top of that, these people have Fat Camp coming up soon, and my understanding is there's quite a bit of money invested in this. Matter of fact, since we're talking about idiots, Review Tech USA, when he was still over there under that brand, which he's rebranded, by the way, the RTU Streams channel, which was dead already, he's rebranded that into Lolcow Basement. So he's basically become a leech, a parasite, cancer to an already parasitic, cancerous husk, which is the Lolcow network over there anyway. But semantics. Rich sat there and paid for his spot over there in Fat Camp too. Now he's talking about he's not sure if he's going or he doesn't want to go or whatever, but he's already paid. I got something even more interesting for you. According to word around the campfire, is I guess a few fans of the show can buy in to go to Fat Camp. Fat Camp is something like a week or two long. It might be even 3 weeks long. I'm not sure about that. But some chick over there is willing to put down damn near $2,000, $1,000 a week basically, to participate in Fat Camp. $1,000 a week. It's some wild stuff over there. I gotta tell you, it's some wild ass shit.
We're gonna be leaving in a couple weeks. We got things to do.
Well, I could do it before Fat Camp. You want me to get him on here? You two take a nice little night off. Have a fucking vacation. I'll work on it. Okay,
yeah,
sounds
whatever,
good.
Becky. Whatever. We don't give a fuck about DSP.
You get to take a night off. What the fuck, Tina. Why are you so... You are like the most non-human person I have ever met. I have never heard somebody complain so much about taking time off.
Mike knows that. I'm a fucking workhorse, bitch.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense because you'll say that, and then we're like, hey, you want to work Saturday? And you're like, I work 7 fucking days. Like, it makes no sense.
No, you're a lying fat motherfucker, you big
Just
bitch.
it.
No, 7 hours in one day? God damn!
Don't work 7 hours in a fucking day.
She made me!
I did not make you decide to flaunt your ass over on Lolcow Live being like, tee, I'm Tina D with Billy the Fudge and fucking Zazu, dude.
You got up there too, high as a kite. Keem Wayne got me. Keem said it was boring. He wanted me to come up there. Nah. So shut the fuck up, bitch.
And I saved you from there, didn't I?
No, I was there for 3 hours before we left there. Sorry.
You were sitting there. No one was even talking to you. You were looking so lonely. And then I came in, your white fucking knight, Tina, and saved you, told you to get on my Suffa horse's back and said, let's blow this popsicle joint and come over here. And you did. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, really?
All of you.
Okay, well, that's not getting to the intervention, Mike. Come on, let's get to the intervention. I don't think anybody, a normal job, you don't go to work drunk.
Think it's too late for an intervention.
If you're paying taxes, which we are, this is a normal job. You should be coming drunk. What about you, Becky?
Man, but then again, Phil drinks on the job, and that's a thing. Now that I think about it, I've been wondering this for a minute because this is a hot topic over there in girl world right now. Chantel or Foodie Beauty, or Chantel, whatever. She is doing sponsorship streams. Peep this because it's going to sound real familiar. Basically, you pay her a certain amount, and she'll go out and do a certain she'll eat a certain type of food that you want her to eat, whether she'll eat it at home, get it delivered, or she'll eat it at a restaurant. You can give her money to go off and do something at a particular event, whatever. Now, most of the people in girl world are saying, well, wait a second, that's a sponsored stream. Someone's paying her an amount of money to do something, and she should be disclosing that, because if she's not, she's breaking TOS. That's hit number 1. Hit number 2 is that she is doing something that's going to sound real familiar to you, and she funnels all of these contributions for all of these sponsored streams and whatever, directly to PayPal. She has memberships on her channel. She has super chats, but no, she wants you to funnel all of this stuff to PayPal. And she wants you to do it under friends and family, which is the same thing that LTG has been doing for years. So he doesn't have to pay taxes on it. TOS break number 2, according to Girl World. Now I'm speaking to a few people over there, and they're kind of giving me the insight on it. I may actually do a video on it because it's going to sound real familiar and real fishy. But the question is, let's say that I'm not going to say that they're not right. I don't know. But let's say they are. Let's say they're on to something. Isn't DSP breaking TOS by fucking doing the DSP tries and all that bullshit? And yes, DSP does funnel all the contributions that could get him to these goals through all these different methods. Tips, super chats, memberships and gifted memberships on Kick and YouTube respectfully. But if it is true that he is breaking TOS by asking people to donate to his PayPal, would you consider that a TOS break? Is he still breaking TOS, or at least partially? That'll be another video in the works too. It's pretty interesting stuff though. It's really, really interesting stuff.
What you got to offer us, you drunk pussy ass motherfucker?
I'm not drunk, but my throat is talking at the moment, so I was trying to wait for it to pass.
It was gross the other day when she was drinking, Mike. You could actually hear things like going in and out of her throat.
That's because you want to hear? Maybe I should turn up the gain, and you could really hear it. That's because. Yeah,
I wonder. There's there are things that have been said that throat game is pretty it's decent. I don't know if I could say anything past that, but there's rumors, if I could say that. There are rumors. I can't attest to anything. I have no clue.
The carbonation.
Yeah, blame it on that. Mm-hmm. Oh, there she goes. See, what the fuck, Mike? That's disgusting. That's gross. We gotta eat in public with these motherfucking cows.
It came back up.
Yeah, what? Damn.
Oh, I didn't think that would
Mike, what
actually
do you-
happen.
Mike, what did you make for dinner tonight?
Okay, I'm going to relieve you guys from the suffering of that, but that's what our situation is in full at the moment. Oh, man. Woo! So that's what that gives you guys a glimpse of what's going on over there in the Lolcow universe. Keem's magnum opus, if you will. At least that's what it's going to probably end up being. Which is unfortunate because you would think Happy Punch would be that, but it is what it is on that. In any case, that's what the situation is, and that's what the circumstances are at this particular moment. That camp, I don't know if they've actually put an ETA on that, but I would assume it's going to probably be in like April, May. I don't see it being any sooner than that. Wings for the longest time was trying to get out of it. It looks like he's going to be in on it now. There's a lot of money to be made on that. I'm not sure if Kelly's going. He probably should bring her, to be honest with you. If not, someone like Morning After Kill or one of those other trolls are going to end up bagging her while he's gone. So he might as well bring her. I think Desi, which is Boogie's 20-year-old, 21-year-old, however old she is now, she's going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people there, and there's a lot of opportunities for content, to be honest. A lot of money is going to be made, I think, if they play their cards right. So we'll see if Rich shows up or not. We'll see if they actually are able to get this interview. If not, it could happen after Fat Camp or whatever. But that's what the scenario is. It's really all for content, and it's there to better Becky's position, and to not only the better position, but to strengthen her equity in the Lolcow universe. That's honestly what my thoughts are. I don't see it getting anything past that. Anywho, let's see here. What we're gonna use the close up shop with. I think having a drink would probably be would be the best way to go after something like that. Let's go with Tim Snortons. Snortons, why not? So yeah, that's what our. Well, actually, we can go with a drink. Why not? There we go. There we go. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, final thoughts. Final thoughts. To be honest, if the interview does happen with DSP, like I said, it's going to be just a shooting gallery on Rich. Rich will react to it, crash out more than likely, and other people will react to it. It'll just be part of that circle, that part of the cycle, if you will, that I've been telling you guys about. That 2025 is just the year of content farming. That's pretty much all it's going to really come down to. DSP will get himself a minor buzz out of it if he actually does it. Kino Casino will have a good laugh at his expense, and it'll just keep going, to be honest. DSP's unwillingness to actually try to better his position and his value to Kino Casino by going out and doing other stuff with other content creators, yet again, just shows how short-sighted he is. Nobody here is surprised about that, so I will not continue to preach to the gospel or to the congregation about that when we guys know that damn well. We'll see if it happens. We'll personally see what happens. I think if PPP decides to prod him into doing so, he'll do it. Will DSP do it on his own merit? He'll probably just hold off to the last possible minute or when he's desperate, and then he may consider doing it. We will see. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I will catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully sooner, because given the, what's it called? Given the, I'll name these segments later, it gives me more time to work on the longer videos. So so you guys kind of can see the method and the madness of what I'm doing here. In any case, I should catch you guys for one of these things soon. There's a lot of interviews to work on. There's a lot of just day-to-day shit DSP's doing that I'd like to tackle, and we'll get to that in a rather strategic manner, I suppose. Never really looked at myself as strategic, but more calculated more than anything. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. For the Snort Report, for SnortBucks Coffee Company, for Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, for Tim Snortons, and all of our subsidiaries and affiliates. Big ups to Chio18. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Oh, man. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.